downtown Dallas today. I thought I'd comment a little bit about where I've been in August and what we've been doing, and hopefully some good change. So yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. So in August, my wife and I gave up sugar and gluten and soy and grains and alcohol, basically Whole30, and committed to it really hard. Went 30 days without any of those things, and many other things as well. No bread, no sugar, no added sugar. Those are the big ones. No rice, no beans, things like that. And yeah, it was really interesting. I've always had issues with food and was never quite sure what caused most of my issues. I assumed I was lactose intolerant, but never really figured out why. But yeah, so giving those things up led to some huge changes. It's dark. Got dark all of a sudden. Look at that. It's better. Led to some big changes. I can see a big difference in my face on the camera. I'm not sure if anyone else can, but something I look at. I didn't do it to lose weight. I did it mostly to get the experience and to see how food affected me. But yeah, it ended up being really interesting in terms of weight loss and just general effect. We basically don't eat the same way anymore. We actually went to a Labor Day barbecue yesterday, and the type of food we would normally eat, your typical like grill out burgers and sides and dips and things of that nature, really didn't enjoy eating that. Left us all kind of feeling gross and generally pretty bad. But you know, we've changed the way we eat. We committed really hard to the process. We tried a lot of new foods, things we wouldn't generally eat, and I think that was a good part of it. So yeah, lots more vegetables in the diet, a lot less bread. Haven't been to fast food. Haven't picked up breakfast on the way to work. At least during the Whole30. I have, now that we've finished, I have switched to trying to be mostly gluten-free for the most part. I think I got a lot of positives out of eating gluten-free. And I'm not doing it 100%, but quite a bit. But yeah, down 2 belt loops, clothes fit fine, lost over 30 pounds. So that was a really interesting experience for me. I love Maseratis. Back in my office now. The other thing that's interesting about Whole30 and about giving up all of those different foods is simply just the habit change. So I think when we started, you know, the main thing we were worried about was what our eating habits were like. My wife ate pretty well. I am an emotional eater and generally didn't eat well. You know, outside of here's and there's and situational stuff, but you know, when I would get emotional, I would eat. That's kind of my thing. You know, I'd have to leave in the middle of the day to go get lunch just to get away from the desk, things like that. Pretty typical stuff. But the habits of eating that we discovered and that we were able to correct, I think, is the most interesting part of how the Whole30 idea worked for us. So a couple of examples. The biggest one, I think, for me personally, is breakfast. I would generally grab breakfast in my car in the morning on the way to the office. Breakfast was something to get me through. I had switched before we started Whole30 to trying to eat better and eat a little cleaner, and I was mostly doing like protein bars and just getting away from like fast food breakfast. Even trying to eat healthy at fast food breakfast was bad for me, and healthy in air quotes, because let's be real, it's not super doable. But the overall habit experience for me of just getting up, a few minutes earlier and making breakfast was a big positive. I feel better eating a good breakfast. So, during the whole 30, we were basically having eggs almost every day. Still am doing that for the most part now. The only difference has been that after 30 days and after a few days here and there, now I have had to sort of break away from eggs and do something different. I did switch over back to gluten-free protein bars for a couple days, and now I'm back to eggs mostly. So in the mornings I'm generally doing like a vegetable scramble, trying to get as much vegetable as possible and also as much protein as possible in the morning to get through and to feel better. That generally sets me up for a pretty positive day. Getting that type of breakfast in me seems to affect my overall mood. It makes it easier to eat better the rest of the day. Beyond that, just the whole thing that we committed to was, like I mentioned before, was trying new things, finding recipes, actually going through the motions of cooking food and finding interesting food. So we ate a lot of vegetables. I had a lot of issues with acid reflux. Those issues have gone away. I haven't had to take medicine for acid reflux now in like 45 days, which is amazing. The overall habits that we had, I think, are better. We haven't had fast food. We have made a point to go out and sort of re-experience some foods that we know that we love. We got pizza twice. The first time was incredible. It was like really high-end pizza that we love, and it was amazing. We couldn't eat very much of it. The second time was because the kiddo said he wanted pizza, so we got just your typical takeout pizza. And that, while it was delicious, actually made us both feel kind of junky. We have avoided that now for the most part, and we're doing really well. We are finding that we're willing to go out of the diet a little more. But, eating breakfast in the morning is big, making breakfast in the morning is big, making good choices throughout the day is good. I'm not snacking nearly as much. No soda. I've switched off of dairy for the most part. I did have I had a couple lattes over the weekend. And again, the sort of lactose intolerance issues were there and weren't super great. If you guys have any questions, and if it's something you've thought about, be sure to leave a comment down below. I'd be happy to answer any of them. Will I do it again? Yeah, I'll probably end up doing 30 more days here somewhere along the line. I can't do it right away. It is a commitment. It is very hard to do. If you've never done it before, or you've never given up sugar before, the first week is really, really hard. Especially the first 3 to 4 days can, feel like you're living with a hangover for a few days, but it's worth it. It is interesting to deprive your body of things that it's had. In my case, I would imagine that my body has run on mostly sugar as an energy source for probably 30, 32 years. So that's amazing to think that, cutting out the sugar made it run on different things. And I can tell a difference in some aspects of my life of the different levels of energy. I have tons more energy. I sleep better. Just overall life feels better. And then obviously the weight loss and stuff like that has been great. I'm not worried about sustaining it. I think it's I think it's something that I'll be able to do. I do actually, now that, it's over and I've seen the weight loss happen, I do actually have a couple weight loss goals now that I didn't have originally before. So, yeah, we're just going to keep working on that and keep on trucking through. And yeah, so I just thought I'd share and see what you guys thought. And you can leave a comment down below and make fun of me, or leave your words of encouragement or your trolling or whatever you want. I'm good with anything. Yeah, thanks for watching. If it's your first time stopping by, be sure to like and subscribe and all those good things. More videos coming soon, so we'll talk at you soon. See you next time, guys.